Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer on adaptive observability and conquering dashboard sprawl. If you're managing infrastructure right now, you definitely know the absolute headache of maintaining dozens of practically identical dashboards. It's a mess, right? Okay, let's dive into this and fix it. Picture this. It's 2 a.m., your pager is screaming at you. Your payment API is suddenly throwing 500 errors left and right. You stumble over to your laptop, eyes barely open. Now, be honest with yourself. Can you find the exact problem in under a minute? If you're frantically hunting through this disorganized mess of hard-coded individual service dashboards, the answer is almost certainly no. Every single second counts when you're on call, and fighting your own tools is literally the last thing you need. And that brilliantly illustrates the core issue we are dealing with here: dashboard sprawl. The status quo is just painful. If you have 50 microservices, that usually means you have 50 static, hard-coded dashboards. It is an absolute nightmare to maintain. You update one, and boom, you got to go update 49 others. But adaptive observability, that gives you one fluid, dynamic dashboard that actually adapts to your context. It's this highly scalable solution that acts way more like a powerful search engine than a messy, overflowing filing cabinet. So how do we actually pull this off? Well, it's all about Grafana variables. Think of them as the magic weapon in your observability arsenal. A variable is really just a simple placeholder that dynamically changes what a panel displays based on a selected list of options. So instead of hard-coding a specific server or service name directly into your panels, you just drop in a variable. Then the panel updates automatically based on whatever you pick from a drop-down menu. It's a complete game changer. All right, step 1, creating a query variable. Let's see how we pull those service names dynamically. Inside your dashboard settings, you're going to add a new variable and set the type to query. And honestly, here is the best part. We can pull our service list straight from our Loki logs just by using label values. This means the second a brand new service spins up and starts logging, it automatically shows up in our dashboard. No manual updates required at all. Just choose your Loki data source from the drop-down menu to get it started. Next step is the query itself. You'll write a simple Loki label query to fetch your services. But listen, here is the real secret to transforming a totally static dashboard into an interactive powerhouse. You want to scroll down to selection options and enable multi-value and the include all option. This lets you select not just one single service, but multiple services at the exact same time. You can even zoom out and look at your entire system globally. Oh, and don't forget to hit save. Okay, moving right along to step 2, creating a custom variable. This is perfect for static lists, like our environments. The setup here is incredibly simple. You add another new variable, but this time you set the type to custom. Then, right there in the values separated by a comma field, you literally just type out your environments: dev, staging, prod. You can also enable multi-value here too if you ever want to compare staging and production side by side, which is super handy. Click save, and boom, your second dropdown is ready to go. Step 3, writing dynamic panel queries. This is where we actually link those dropdowns we just made directly to our data. To pull this off, we use something called interpolation. I know it sounds like some heavy academic technical word, but don't worry, it's actually really straightforward. It's simply the mechanism where the Grafana engine replaces your variable placeholder with whatever drop-down value you picked. And it does this before it actually queries the backend. So when you select Payment API from the dropdown, Grafana is under the hood automatically rewriting your query before sending it off to Loki or Prometheus. So the absolute crucial point here is getting the syntax right. To tell Grafana that a specific word is a variable, you wrap it exactly like this: a $, an open curly brace, your variable name, and a close curly brace. Treat this syntax like a critical vocabulary word. It is the absolute key format that unlocks all these dynamic panels. Think about the old, brittle status quo of hard-coding the service name and compare it with this new, highly adaptable way. Instead of locking a panel completely down to service equals payment API, you use service equals $, open bracket, service, close bracket. Because of that one little change, one single query string can now dynamically monitor literally any service in your entire infrastructure. You never need to build a new dashboard again just for a new service. Okay, hold on. There is one critical caveat here that you absolutely need to watch out for. Remember earlier when we enabled multi-value? Because we did that, users can select multiple services at once. If they do, Grafana formats that variable with pipe separators. Because of that, you must change your equals sign in the query to a tilde. That makes it equals tilde. This basically tells the backend, hey, perform a regular expression match instead of an exact match. If you forget that tilde, your queries are absolutely going to break the second someone selects multiple values. The payoff for doing this is just massive. You are completely replacing dozens of unmanageable dashboards with one single zero-maintenance interface that scales instantly the moment new services are added. Plus, it unlocks some incredibly powerful features like Repeat Panel. That's where Grafana automatically duplicates a panel for every single service you select, giving you instant side-by-side diagnosis. The official documentation hits the nail on the head here. It says you select the service you want to inspect from a drop-down menu and watch panels update to only show you metrics from that service. This completely empowers self-service analytics across your entire engineering team. Anyone can go in and find the insights they need without requiring special edit permissions or having to bother a dedicated dashboard creator. All right, let's take a breath and bring this all back to reality. Let's close the loop here and jump back into that nightmare 2 a.m. incident from earlier. The pager goes off, you're exhausted, the stakes are sky high, and your customers are actively experiencing errors. But this time, things are different. You aren't hunting through 50 different hard-coded tabs. Here is how that same scenario plays out now. You open your one single dynamic service overview dashboard. You click the service dropdown and select the affected service. You click the environment dropdown and hit prod. And instantly, your error rates, latency graphs, and Loki logs filter right down to exactly what you need to see. It took maybe 5 seconds. Zero tab switching, absolutely no editing required. Because it's all right there, you quickly spot the latency spike in the logs right next to the error rate metric, you identify the root cause, you roll back the problematic deployment, and the incident is resolved. Found the error. Fixed the issue. Going back to sleep. That is the victorious, incredibly relatable outcome of a well-architected dashboard. It literally gets you back to bed faster. So now it's your turn. By leveraging query and custom variables, you can literally transform your entire observability strategy in under 5 minutes. My challenge to you is this. Take a hard look at your current setup. How many static dashboards can you confidently delete tomorrow? If you want to test this out without touching your own production data, go pull up a sandbox environment on Grafana Play and give it a try. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy monitoring.